Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Here we are again. Today I have Cameron from the band Gentleman's Crow on the show with me today. How you doing, Cam?
Doing great, man. Super excited to be here, Shane.
Well, thank you for coming on. Excited to have you here. So first and foremost, get this out of the way so I don't label you. But if you had to label your band and fall into a genre or a sub-genre, where would you put you guys right now?
I think right now with the album, and then also just including the way that we play it live, I think it's kind of a punk indie psych kind of mashup. Live wise, we kind of play most of the songs in a drop tuning, so we go down to E flat or D standard. So it kind of gives it more of a grunge feel live at certain times. But yeah, I think that's it's like 3 little genres in there.
All right. Hey, listen, it's one of those things nowadays that I think everything should really be genreless, but we have to label it to put it somewhere so people know what they're listening to. But to me, it's just all fucking music, and that's all it is. So
yeah, we try to, with a lot of the stuff we do too, we try not to go down a specific route. I mean, it's obviously all rock music in some sort of base, but we try to mix in a lot of different influences and subgenres and stuff to try to keep it interesting.
Cool. So why don't you give me a little story about how Gentleman's Crow came about?
So Gentleman's Crow started about 3 or 4 years ago. It kind of started off as just a recording project for me. I was living in a beach town in Maryland. Wasn't really doing much with my life, just working in restaurants, going to community college. And I've been playing guitar for some time and singing, writing songs. And I met a couple guys that were studio musicians and got together with them. And we did a couple singles and an EP to start, which is now a couple years old. You can still find it on Spotify and Apple, though. And that was kind of like the start of it, really. And nothing really happened. We didn't play any live shows. We didn't do anything for quite some time around that period. And I moved to St. Augustine, Florida, about a year after that. And met some guys that weren't interested in playing live music. And we kind of just went from there. We started playing those early songs live, but changing them from the way I recorded them. And we just kept writing new stuff. And at first, we were just like a college band. We were all going to school. We had all the kids come out to the shows, and we were just kind of having fun. And as time went on, things kept getting a little bit more intense, better crowds, getting more streams and followers, all that kind of stuff. And we kind of were like, yeah, we can, try to do this. We all love it so much. And, who doesn't want to try to make it as a band if you really love it?
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly the goal, right? I mean, yeah. if you love music and you want to be a part of your life and you're in a band, the whole idea is to try and do it and make it as a band.
Yeah, I think there's always it's funny, you'll meet, especially in our scene here, we'll meet older guys who've kind of been in it for a while, and they're always kind of like, it doesn't matter about making it or making money, it's just do it because you love it. And it's like, yeah, that is definitely part of it, but it's really nice to think you're going to gain people that care. You're going to get a following. You're going to maybe make some money, sell some merchandise. All that kind of stuff is definitely part of the goal. We do it because you love it, but it's pretty cool to do the other stuff too.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to make money at something you love doing. So
yeah, of course.
So how about you? When in your life did things change for you when it came to music? There's 2 pivotal moments that I always harken back to, and the first one is the first musical memory you have, like the first time you heard music and it meant something, usually in your early ages, cartoon theme songs, Disney, but like the first time you heard real music. Do you remember when that was and what that was that you heard?
Yeah, so honestly, this is funny. going back to like fifth grade, I want to say, my dad had just like this random assortment of CDs that he would play in his car. A lot of like early 2000s and like 90s like pop rock stuff. And two specifically was U2 and Coldplay. He had both of their first albums, and he would just kind of play them, to and from school or going to football practice. And there's a couple songs on there, especially on that first Coldplay album. I can't remember what the song was called. It's the one that's got the white album cover with like the kind of weird looking animal.
Yeah, it's Parachute. Yeah.
Parachute. Yeah, that's what it is. And I'm not a huge Coldplay fan now, unfortunately, but I do like the band. But
they had three great starting albums, and then they went off the rails.
Yeah, they did that. Was Viva La Vida included in that? Because that was
no, it is not included in their first.
Okay, because that was the one that I remember. I was like, I don't like this. But yeah, so it was kind of that. It was like it started as like a pop rock, and I feel like it kind of grew from there. I mean, I think middle school was like all like rap and like hip hop. Like that was what was cool. Time.
Yeah, is that like the first thing you found on your own? Like that to me is that second pivotal moment when you're able to find your own music.
Yeah, most definitely. I think I got a iPod, one of the early ones, when I was either end of fifth grade or sixth grade. One of the first iPods, no touch or anything on it, just like the little square one with a little circle dial on it. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like Lil Wayne and like ASAP Rocky were super popular at the time, and so that was like all the groove. Pretty sure I used to like go. This is pretty funny. I would go seventh grade. I would go to get on the school bus, and I would throw my hood up on my head and put my headphones in and like walk on the bus listening to some rap song with some sort of swagger. And if you kind of saw me in person now, you would be like, this guy has no business acting like that. Which is just funny now that I look back on it. I'm like, what did I think I was doing?
It's that false bravado that hip hop gave you,
Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, it's a funny memory for me now. But really, those things though, like, yeah, those are definitely the two moments that I can really think of. But like when I really like, it kind of came later though. When I really fell hard for it was like high school, first Arctic Monkeys record, every White Stripes record, Black Sabbath, all those kind of things at that time was what kind of pushed me into like making music and like playing guitar and doing all that kind of stuff.
So when did you first start playing a musical instrument?
Around that time, I was 11th grade. I had just been like semi quit / kicked off of the varsity football squad. And I wasn't like the best kid at the time. I was kind of getting into like, various substances and, just kind of just being like a little shit, I would say. And
you were enjoying your youth.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, around that time, and I was like, I remember I told my mom, I was like, didn't my great grandfather leave like an old Epiphone guitar or something? And he had this like 70s Epiphone acoustic guitar that was like impossible to play. The strings were so heavy and the action was god awful. And it was funny though because it was such a cool old guitar. And she was like, yeah, it's up at Mom's house, which is my grandmother. So I went and picked it up and I brought it home, started taking some lessons, and I can't remember. I honestly can't remember what's the first thing I learned to play was. It had to have been like a Jack White song or something. So I was super into the White Stripes at that time. It was kind of, that's where it really began for sure.
And I mean, once you started to figure out how to play and stuff, what did you want to do right from that moment? Was that just, hey, I want to learn how to play guitar. It's, you're getting older and you're going to college and now this, meet some college buddies or something and do something, or were you able to find people to play with like right away when you started playing?
So right away, no. I mean, to be totally honest with you, and like, because it was like 3 years between when I started playing and then when I started recording anything. And like that first 2 years, it was nothing more than like a hobby, really. I just wanted to play songs that I liked. I wanted to play and sing like stuff that I knew that I loved. I didn't have any intent. I didn't really even start writing music until about 6 or 8 months before I did the first EP that we have out. It's kind of a funny transgression, really. I remember I was just kind of like, especially when I was in high school, I was like the dude that was like, I wanted to like, find a guitar at a party and start playing some like random chords, but I never played Wonderwall, so nobody can bash me for that. But yeah, no, it started out as just a very casual thing. I had no intent, and for like the first couple years I played, I kind of even fell off from it a couple times. Like I remember I bought an electric and I got like a Rat distortion pedal and a couple other fun little things, and I was got a little PA system and a microphone, and then I was like really trying to like play and sing like the whole entire first Arctic Monkeys record, and then it was like up and down. It was like bipolar almost. Like then I would stop for like 3 or 4 months. It didn't get consistent until I was about, I want to say 20 or 21 was when I really started like playing every day, and I was.
So
Oh, go ahead.
When was the first time you performed live then in front of strangers?
First time I performed live, well, I don't know. I don't know if you count this, but the first time I really performed live was at my own graduation party. My guitar teacher brought his live original band, and they played music at the party, which was pretty cool. And they had me come up and play like Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, and we played Steady As She Goes by the Raconteurs. That was the first time I actually played for people, but it was just a bunch of like friends and family. And then fast forward like 2 years from that, I started right around the same time I started doing that first EP. I started playing like coffee shop gigs in the beach town I was living in. It's like open mics, or there's a bunch of different open mic nights and like community music nights, and just go and play.
And I mean, what was that like for you? You know, the first time performing in front of people who didn't know you. What was?
It's so funny, actually, because it was so nerve wracking. Like the first time I did it, I probably played for like 5 people, but I like practiced so hard before I went for like 2 or 3 weeks doing the same 4 songs, and I was like so like stoked, but also like anxious. My girlfriend had to like hype me up to like actually go. I remember right before we went, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I think I'm going to suck. And, I was like, I go and play to like 5 people that were just kind of chilling. They didn't really care. It was just funny to kind of think about that compared to now where we go and play for like a couple hundred people. It's like such a vast difference.
So, I mean, from that first moment you performed to the second moment you performed, what was the big difference? I mean, did you still have the butterflies in your stomach, or was it like, all right, so I'm just going to keep working through this and we'll see what happens? Or was it just as nervous as the first time? Like, when did you kind of start becoming comfortable?
Honestly, I don't want to ruin your question, but really quite never have I ever become comfortable. But like the first couple times I always had butterflies. But I think every time I finished, I just kind of go and work harder at home to be better for the next time I did it. So I think it was like this, how like the anxiety kind of drives you in a way, keeps you on your toes. But like, it's funny enough though, like even now when we play, now it's been like 4 years, we've done a couple tours, and we've played for some pretty decent sized crowds, but I always, before we play the first song, my right leg will shake the whole song, and it looks real funny. I have to actually kind of plant my leg and lock my right knee. It's just always.
You should just wear like a leg brace for the first song and then rip it off. Like,
make
it a part of your show. Like that's part of the act.
Yeah, it's just part of the thing. It's like I've seen videos come back from like people that have like tagged us on Instagram or whatever. They take videos of the shows, and I've seen it from the first 2 songs before, and I'll see my leg and I'll be trying to hold it still, and my right knee is just like buckling and moving, and I'm like, it looks like I have kind of like a nervous system problem. But it's just funny though. It's like I'm not. And the other thing too is like mentally I don't feel uncomfortable or anything. Like I'm having a good time. It's just kind of like this physical reaction, this like kind of like tick that happens. But I think it's that butterfly effect. It's that feeling of, there's people out here, whether it be 1 or whether it be 200, and they're looking to have a good time, and they're all watching you, and they want to see you do something cool. Which like, no matter how many people it is, I think you always kind of have that feeling of wanting to impress. You want to make them move, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you want them to remember you.
Of course, yeah. I want them to shout my name from the thing and tell me it was the best thing they've ever seen.
So, I mean, getting into, learning how to play guitar and stuff, what was it that got you to learn how to start writing songs? Because, for me, that they're 2 completely different things, writing songs and playing playing songs are two completely different things. So how did you go about doing that? Was it just a process of playing other people's songs that you saw the structure and learned how to write your own stuff, or was there something more behind that?
So I kind of started with learning. And one of the first things I did when I got serious was I really deep dove into music theory, which wasn't like the best thing to do at the time because it was very overwhelming, and confusing. But I was like super obsessed with like I wanted to understand every scale, all the different melodic minors, the major minors, all the different modes, and I wanted to know how they connected. I wanted it to be this fluid thing where I could just kind of do all of it, but it kind of was overwhelming, I would say. And but through that, I learned, the different ways that different scales progress and how you can connect like a 1 chord and a 5 chord, or you do like a 1-4-5 progression. I think it kind of started with like doing those basic like music theory things that they teach you for like song structuring.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into your other point, which was learning other people's stuff and kind of seeing how they were structuring their songs and seeing the patterns that they used was definitely a big influence on that first couple recordings we did. So it's kind of like a mix, I guess.
Nice. So when performing, I mean, you guys just came off a tour and you released your full length debut album, and I mean, what has that been like for you, being able to get your full length out there and touring and enjoying playing and seeing the fruits of your labor? Like, how do you feel about that? What's changed since that's started in your life?
It was definitely super. What's the right word for it? Relieving to get it out. And I think that's because we recorded it January of 21, and we sat on it for a long time. There was some complications. It took like 4 or 5 months to get the whole thing mixed and mastered the way we wanted it. And we had gone back and we did some overdubs on some of the songs. There was stuff that we wanted to change. That kind of all took time. Summer hit, and we went ahead and started diving into how we're going to market it. Who's going to, do the publicity for it. We wanted to do the whole thing professionally as possible because, I mean, anyone that's releasing music now kind of knows you can drop a song every week on Spotify and kind of have nothing happen, which is what we noticed with the first songs we released. So we went and I did a lot of research, and it took time. I probably could have done it faster, but it took like 3 or 4 months again from like summer to fall, getting all of that together, filming the videos, getting all the ads made and getting artwork done and all this kind of stuff. And then we were offered that tour, which you spoke of. And the tour happened before the album. The most recent tour, we kind of just like tagged it as a pre-album tour. Like we kind of promoted the album while we were out on the road and talked about it. And which kind of like opposite of what people do, I guess. But it was kind of cool. We gained a lot of people that were interested and stuck around on social media until we finally released it. And then by the time we released it a year later, it was like this big relief. It was like, oh, God, it's finally out. I don't have to do any more Instagram marketing. I don't have to do any more Facebook marketing stuff. I don't have to set anything up. I don't have to work with any more videographers. We can just go and play it now, which is definitely nice. The changing, though, it was different feel. Like you said, like how did it kind of change what we were doing? It took us through like a different mindset, I guess, because we were not so worried about playing the local bar as much. We were more worried about, who's the best band in the cities around us that brings the most people that we can get a show with, who's going to give us the most exposure, try to have a strategy, booking different cities with the bands that are doing really well in those cities, and then bringing them here and giving them our crowd and doing that kind of like crossover stuff.
Who's the best band that you guys have played with so far, in your estimation, that you've just been able to sit back and watch and just be like, wow, they've got it?
Oh, geez. We've played with a lot of good bands.
Yeah, it doesn't take away. I don't want to take away anything from anyone else, but
Oh yeah,
I know there's got to, there's got to be, someone that you were able to stand back and watch and just be like, fuck, that's amazing.
There definitely was one that stands out, and it was one that was here in Jacksonville. A band came on tour from Brooklyn called Added Color. They're really cool. A little bit bigger than us. Similar kind of music though. They're doing all kind of like a little bit of metal, a little bit of stoner rock, and they were just like a masterful performance. I mean, seriously, like a masterwork of stuff. And like I was like gawking at them, like, why are they not bigger? Like it was like just a really well put together performance. Everything transitioned perfectly. The vocals were awesome. They all sang in unison on a lot of parts. The guitars are great. I mean, there was just so much to love about it. And I followed them since then. They're definitely a great, great band. And they're cool because they are actually Moroccans. So they tour Morocco all the time, but they're based in Brooklyn. And they have a huge fan base in Morocco and like Portugal. But they're trying to make it over here. And which was just kind of added another dynamic to their music. It had a different feel. The rhythms were different. The guitar sounds are a bit different.
Yeah, Brooklyn's the new place for a band to be from. So, I mean, who knows? You may have to pack your stuff up and move to Brooklyn because that's where everyone's from nowadays. So.
I know it's actually I keep seeing that. We're supposed to go there on our upcoming tour. We're heading to Brooklyn, waiting to get the show date booked. We're doing an after album tour, like we should have already planned to do, but so we have a tour from the last weekend of May through the end of June, so a 5-week run. But we're just going to go straight up the East Coast to New York, every state in between, and then we'll come back down and we'll play all the major cities in Florida. The thing about living in Florida is that it's such a big place, and there's so many major cities here. You could just you could build up a great fan base just touring Florida over and over again because so many cities, there's so many bands, which has kind of been our strategy for after the album released up until we leave on this bigger tour. Is like every weekend we've been playing a different city in Florida. We were just in Tallahassee this past Saturday. We have a Tampa show at the Orpheum this coming weekend. We've been doing Orlando, Miami, West Palm, pretty anywhere we can, as long as it's, not a waste of gas money.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, God. Oh.
But and for me, people have probably heard me bitch before about Brooklyn, and it's like 21 miles away from me, but it's 4 hours. It's I'm right outside the city, but it takes me 4 hours to get to Brooklyn. And I'm
it's
like,
crazy,
every show now is going to Brooklyn, and I'm like, yeah, forget it. I don't go over two bridges anymore. I just it's so close that if there was no one on the road, like when the world shut down, you could get to Brooklyn in 25 minutes, and now on a normal day it's 3 hours, and it's just crazy.
My brother lived in New York City off Fifth Avenue for like 6 or 7 years, and then he moved to Brooklyn to escape the craziness of Fifth Avenue, only to have Brooklyn become kind of the same way after a few years.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's good for the people that live there because there's so many venues, like even smaller venues that are awesome that are opening up there, and gives people who are passionate about what they do and coming here to try to make something of themselves an opportunity to play in front of a bunch of people in New York City, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so that's kind of why we picked. We were looking at different venues between New York City and Brooklyn already seemed like the spot to go to for up and coming music that's not straight up commercial stuff in the first place. And we actually have a friend there. He runs a clothing company called Canceled, CNCLD. He makes all of our stage wear for us. We kind of met him and we did a collaboration with him. He made he made a whole round of merch for us, like t-shirts and patches. And then he made a second round. And then we realized we were like, we're promoting you a lot. Like, why don't we just wear your stuff on stage too? He makes really great clothes. So he's actually a good friend. We're going to look forward to seeing him when we're up there. And anyone listening, if you're looking for some awesome threads, go check Canceled. It's a really, really cool thing.
Awesome. So if you met someone on the street and you told them that you were a musician and you're in a band, what song of yours would you play for them?
Oh, it depends. I think I would choose it based on what their vibe was. Because,
and you're going to judge, and
for sure. I'm going to definitely stereotype you, for sure.
Yes,
and it kind of works for us because, like, I'm sure you've listened through the album. I feel like it kind of does some leaps and bounds with genre stuff, and I feel
there's a lot of different songs.
Yeah, that was kind of our intent. It was a mix of like a love and a hate. Like now. Like the next album that we're working on, we're supposed to get in the studio this summer and record it. We're looking to do something more concise with a more core sound throughout. We met this guy named Lou Rubino, and he played bass on one of the Paramore albums, and he kind of got his cred through that. And he just owns a studio here, and he does producing. And that was something that he said too, is like the album kind of jumps around a lot, which is cool, but it doesn't have a core sound. But if I meet someone on the street, if I'm talking to like a hipster kind of person, I'm gonna be like, yeah, check out, Did I Get the Picture or Comical. If I meet someone that's a little bit more grungy metal, I'm gonna be like, yeah, listen to Let You Get Away, but check out Howlin, which kind of works well because it definitely appeals to a broad group of people. For the live shows, we've noticed too, same thing. Get a lot of different people. We get metalheads that want to mosh, and we get like 22-year-old college girls that want to like dance, and they're into all the indie music. I think it helps spread it out for sure.
Now, do you have a favorite song that you've recorded so far through everything that you've put out?
I think my favorite on the album, like a favorite one, I kind of have two. It would be "Did I Get the Picture" or "Comical." Both those songs. "Comical" is my favorite song I've written thus far. I just really like that song. I like the lyrics, I like the melodies, and it's got a really unique kind of like indie folky country crossover sound to it. "Did I Get the Picture" was the most fun to record, and is probably the most fun to play. Just got we play it probably like double the speed it is recorded at live, just like super fast, but it's a very, very fun song.
Well, I like when you go see an artist, perform their music that you fell in love with, and they play it, one, tempo up or two, and it just changes the song dramatically. And I love being able to be at a show like that. So credit to you for knowing to do that already. I mean, that is something that I think is lost, where people just go out and I already own the album. I don't need to hear the song played exactly the way I already know it.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of like we all improv parts live too. I mean, we don't change core structuring, but riffs, solos, like parts that we'll sometimes add into jam, they are subject to change like week to week. I feel like that's a big part of us, is that it gets a little jam bandy live sometimes. I think I'm a big fan of My Morning Jacket. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I am. Yeah, Jim James is a master.
He is a master. He's a masterwork of a man. Beautiful, beautiful voice, great beard. And I love their live. I've seen them live a few times, and their songs are never the same live, and they're always drawn out. A lot of cool guitar harmonies going on. Sections are changing, things are going up and down. Like, I love that. I mean, it should be a little bit different live. I mean, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and one of my favorite bands, Manchester Orchestra, you listen to their album, it's just fantastic. And when you see them live,
it's like double that.
It's double that. Like, yeah. And it's faster, it's harder. It's like, fuck, man, these songs sometimes sometimes it kills me, because I'm like, I wish I had recordings of the way you're playing them live, because it's harder and faster, and it's just like it brings something else out of you. Like, you listen to the album, you're like, this is fantastic, I fucking love this album, and then you go see them perform it live, and you're like, son of a bitch, I want an album like this now.
Yeah, it's funny, and like exactly what you just said. It's like you see it and you hear it so differently when it's amped up, and that's another reason why we'll bring the tunings a little bit lower sometimes, make it a little bit heavier, do different things like that. It just changes it for people. And it's funny too, is like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like the White Stripes have a live album. I think it's called Under Great White Northern Lights. And there's that song Icky Thump that's really popular. Mm-hmm. And the live recording on that one, though, he changes the riff, and it's like so much better than the original way he did it, but it's only captured in that live moment. And it's like, damn, like I really wish you had played that live on the recording like that. It's just like those are cool little things. Like, you sometimes find your favorite riff because they improv it live instead of the way they recorded.
I've been able to see so many different bands live and just see the difference, and it's magical. For me, live music is everything. I mean, it's basically it's my life. It really is. I spend every dollar I make basically going to shows constantly, whether it's a awesome $5 show or $50 show. Like, that's it.
Keeping the scene alive. But we have like kind of that down here. There is like a core group of people, ranging from high school to like middle age, that are like scene supporters. They go to every show, and no matter what's playing, no matter what's happening, they are dancing or they're moshing or they're banging their head. They're not judgy or picky. They're just there to support and have a good time. And I think it's so important for small local independent bands, especially ones and even more for ones that haven't like toured or anything yet, and they're just kind of coming out. It's like they need that. And like, whether or not you like it or not, they need that boost. Like, if they got 10 people dancing, they're going to finish that show and be like, that was the best show ever. Like, and that's going to drive them to do something cooler the next week.
Yeah. And it's so like that's the kind of stuff for me, and shows, live music are important for me for a simple fact of not only, supporting the acts you're going to see, but actually supporting everyone in the room, because you're all there for the same thing. And you meet dope fucking people all the time that you never would have met probably ever in your life anyway. But it's that universal language, which is music, and it just connects you with people. I went to a show on Friday by myself and met some of the coolest people in the world, and now we're texting each other, and it's just, hey, fuck, I wish I met you 20 years ago. But now we met through this, and this is awesome. Now we have this connection with each other, and that's
what's really amazing. What it's all about. It really is. I mean, that's what we get the most out of. We've always loved recording. Is fun, doing the concepts and the photographs and album cover stuff. That's fun. But like the live shows are like the experience. It's like what we live and die on. I mean, it's like COVID almost killed us because we couldn't play live. We didn't do anything for like 6 months.
Yeah, this is where the brainchild of the show was me wanting to I missed live music so much, and all I wanted to do was, I realized it wasn't just the live music that I missed. What I missed more was talking to people about music.
The connections you make. I mean, it really is. I mean, we've met so many, a couple tours we've done, we've met so many people, friends, and we try to just bring them into one of the things. Like, we love the idea of like having a community based around our band. And we've been trying to build that up as much as we can. Like, just having like a scene of people that are just kind of like, we're not trying to build a cult, but we want like a scene of people that are coming to all the shows we're doing, and they're coming to support the other bands too. And it's all about like having a good scene. It's all about having, community and respecting each other and making that connection and just enjoying live music. And we started tagging it as my guitar player came up with this. He was like, we need a name for it. So he was like, I like Body of the Crow is what his idea was. He's like, we'll call it the scene, the Body of the Crow, but let's make it Latin. So then it turned into Corpus Corvis, which is cool. And then we realized that Show Me the Body already does that with Corpus, New York. But we still use it. It's kind of one of those things. Like,
it's very cultish sounding.
It is.
So just
it is. It does have a cultish kind of vibe. We kind of promote it like that, just keep it a little edgy. But it's like it's more like we have a little section on our website for it, with like a chat board. People can go like talk about anything about the scene here, community stuff they like, ideas, events, stuff they'd like to see us do. Just trying to involve people more. And it really just started as something we just use as a tagline because we thought it sounded cool, so we just tag it on everything. And then we were like, hey, we could take this step further. And now we're putting it on merch, and we're trying to get an own website for Corpus Corvis, so it has its own separate thing. It's funny, things evolve.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you just have to have the disclaimer that no Kool-Aid will be provided at shows. Like,
yes, yeah, no,
no Kool-Aid,
nothing like that. If you want to bring your own Kool-Aid, that's fine.
So, when was your first concert you ever attended in your life? Do you remember what it was?
Oh, not even a cool one, I don't think. I think
that's all right. Mine wasn't cool. My parents brought me to it, so.
Yeah, same. I think it was fifth grade, again, back to fifth grade, American Idol post-season like tour, where all the people that were on the show would go on tour, and they would, I guess each one took a turn performing. But I can't remember who was the winner that year or anything about it. I just remember being there.
Okay. Do you remember your first show you got to pick?
Yes. The first show I picked for myself had to have been, this is one of my favorite bands too, Highly Suspect. Right before they dropped that first album. I don't know if are you familiar with them? They started in
Yes.
Brooklyn.
Yep, I am.
Oh yeah. They were, I kind of forgot to mention them in my early Guitar Day stuff, but they were right there with all my White Stripes obsessions. I found them on SoundCloud. They hadn't done much yet, and I just kind of came across them. They had cool album covers, and there were some of those early first album songs like Bath Salts and Serotonia, like early versions of them were on SoundCloud, and I was like, this is it. And then like fast forward a few months and they released that album through, I think it was 300 Entertainment. And then they're touring. And I saw them 3 times in the span of like 2 months because they hit a bunch of areas right around me. I saw them in Baltimore. I saw them in DC at the Black Cat. And I saw them in Vienna, Virginia. I think that was a 3 great memories all close together.
Nice. Do you have a favorite concert you ever attended that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, this one's always like a toss up. My Morning Jacket, probably, like live performance wise, and just like that whole experience was so surreal and so like ethereal, I would say. But I did also around that time, I caught Jack White on his solo tour when he released that Lazaretto album.
Mm-hmm.
And that
was just phenomenal album.
Yeah, that was just fucking mind blowing. I mean, I had never been like seeing him play with a full band. Not just, I never saw him as the White Stripes. I missed that. I got into them after they had broken up, so that sucked. But I saw him like that. He had this really badass chick smoking cigarettes, playing an electric violin. He had a stand up bass. He had 2 drummers, and he's just like shredding a Telecaster the whole time. And he played a bunch of White Stripes songs, and then he played that whole Lazaretto album, and that was surreal.
Awesome. All right, you're 17 years old. You just get your license. You go to pick up your girlfriend, boyfriend, or best friend. What was playing on the stereo in the car?
I say I just got in a Honda Civic. I remember that, and Black Keys' Turn Blue album had just come out. And I had kind of gotten into Black Keys, and I saw that album. It had that pink and blue swirl on the front. And I listened to that straight through a bunch. I mean, that was a killer album for me. It was kind of like psychedelic, and it was different than their other stuff that they've been doing.
All right. You got to take care of the choking child. Are you okay?
Oh, no. She does this thing. She fake coughs.
Oh,
It's really awesome. So she kind of just like crawls around and it's really great. I do really apologize. This is so
no worries, man. It's totally fine.
I mean, a young father, and his sitters are not. They're few and far between.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a learning curve. You're totally fine, man. Okay. It's the first child we've had on the show. So listen, it's the first time I get to promote that. I had a child on the show. So yeah, we're all good.
It's awesome. She's very stoked to be here.
Good.
I did a podcast the other week, a couple weeks ago. It was all about dads. It was like Rad Dads podcast. It was very cool. It was like dad musician kind of stuff. And of course she was also around for that one. So she got to scream in the background.
That's awesome. So do you have any guilty pleasures, some music that people would be really surprised that you get a lot of enjoyment out of?
Yeah. So I would say, I don't know if it's really a guilty pleasure, but I'm diehard for the Cure all the time. Love the Cure.
Don't ever call that a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, it's not. It's just like it popped in my mind.
Listen, I'm so stoked that I got another album coming from him soon. Like
I know. I thought, and I was like, I think he said 2 when I was like, oh, that's cool. I swore he said 2 that when he did the one interview. I was like, I'd love to see 2 Cure albums come out in the next couple of years. Guilty pleasure. Honestly, funny enough, every now and again, I will definitely get down to a little bit of Sean Paul. So random.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's a good. Yeah. That's a good
pleasure. Yeah. It's random. It does not fit with anything that I play or anything else I listen to. But I do dig me some Sean Paul, some Lana Del Rey. Definitely will just like sit and mope to some Lana Del Rey music.
That's fine. Yeah, Sean Paul is definitely got to be your guilty pleasure. So I'll give you that. That's okay.
Most definitely. What about you? You got one? What you got?
Guilty pleasures nowadays to find me listening to something like that someone would Taylor Swift. I think
there you go. That's a good one.
But it was the Folklore album that got me in, and watching the documentary on Disney Plus that like just drew me in. The poppy stuff, not so much, but like, like Pink, I think she's phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I guess that I would throw in there too. And Katy Perry, who I've said before on this show that she has one of the greatest unplugged albums of all time that I will put up against phenomenal. Almost anything.
So the pop artists are all like kind of guilty pleasures in a way, because like it depends on what you listen to, but they're awesome.
Yeah. So do you have? I mean, you've spoke about a bunch of bands, and a lot of people call it favorite band, but I look for a band that is just a band that never lets you down. That's something you just constantly turn to when you need music. Do you have a band like that you just constantly almost doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in? You could be happy, sad, whatever it is, but you just constantly turn to that band.
Yeah, most definitely. Queens of the Stone Age for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like anytime. They have so many albums that I am in love with, and I can't get enough of most of their music. I've been a fan for a while, got all their vinyls and stuff, and they are definitely, they're my rock.
It's funny that was not a band that you mentioned once until I asked that question.
Yeah. I have a lot of bands that I like. But that was one that didn't come about until a lot later in my life, and not until I was like 22, 23 did that one really like pop into play.
Wow. Yeah. My quick story on Queens of the Stone Age. I was traveling for work, and I was in Portland, Maine, and I'm just walking through the town. It's later on in the day. I don't feel like going to hang out in my hotel room, and I see this long line, and I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? And I just walk up to somebody in the line. I'm like, what are you in line for? They're like, oh, Queens of the Stone Age are playing here tonight. And I was like, oh, really? And then I look on my phone. And I'm like, oh, Royal Blood's opening for him. I love Royal Blood. I was like, and I literally just stood there, bought a ticket on StubHub, and just got right in line.
That is so badass. Royal Blood's another one of my favorites. Oh gosh, there's so much good music.
They're amazing. And again, for me, when it comes to like watching music and watching a band like Royal Blood, which is two people, and fucking crush a room with thousands of people in it, it blows me away.
Oh,
it's two guys. It's unbelievable to watch that kind of stuff.
The live set that they had on, I think it was a Reading live set that they did. We always watch that video. It's a phenomenal performance. So sick.
Do you have a memory that is just that you equate constantly to music, or the song that was playing, like just embodies that moment in your life?
Yeah. Funny enough, another not guilty pleasure, but another hardcore one is Tame Impala. I've been a huge fan of them since right around the time I started playing guitar as well. But they released that album Currents when I was in high school. I was a senior, and I was jamming that all the time. There's the first song that plays on that album, and I would always be playing that song when I was driving around late at night. I used to just kind of like drive around, and just like I had my car, and I was just like, I love being out of my house, and I would just play that song, just like drive with the windows down, and just like look at. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, so a lot of woodland trees and all types of stuff, and nice fresh air. It's just like an interesting memory, but a nice one.
Nice. All right, so world's about to end. 5 minutes left. Meteor's going to crash into this world, and we're all gone.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to one song in that 5 minutes. What song would you listen to?
Good God. Oh man. Geez, one that is like all inspiring all the time. What would it be? I think it would be the song. I think it would be Like Clockwork from the album Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age. I love that song. So I got that piano ballad and that epic whammy guitar solo towards the end of it. Just got those like builds up and breaks down all the time. Like that song has always been one that I come back to no matter what. Seems to always be in my recent plays. Just love that song.
Awesome. I know it's a hard thing to come up with sometimes for some people. But
that is a tough one.
Yeah.
I like so much stuff, and I don't want to. I don't want to let anyone down. I want to pay homage.
But it's your moment, and nobody's going to know anyway. So you know.
Josh Hobbies, don't care.
Yeah. Now, if you were to put together a montage of your life, what song would be playing in that montage, in that awesome 80s montage?
Oh, yeah. That's another good one, man. You got these things stacked up. These are great questions. That would have to be one song through the 80s montage. What is that song? Are you familiar with Waves?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's got that song. And of course, right now, I love the song and I can't remember what it's called. And it's from the Grand Theft Auto soundtrack. Nine is God. That is like the perfect montage song to me for some reason. I always picture it over like a video montage. It is just an epic song.
Awesome. Yeah, and I asked that question because the first thing I do when I hear a song, I actually create like a montage music video of something. Just like I create the music video itself when I hear a song that I love.
Like what are you hearing with it?
Yeah.
That one was funny too because we went on tour one of the times, and we had an RV that we drove that got loaned to us, and it had like great speakers throughout the whole thing. And that song just played over and over again. My bass player loved it, and it was like the soundtrack to the tour. And then when we made the tour documentary video afterward, of course, that was the song that.
I was gonna ask you what you listened to, what constantly played in the tour van. So
a lot of that. My drummer is a huge Gojira guy, so anytime he was driving, we were listening to Gojira. Not a bad thing. They're epic. We had a lot of listen to when we went through Nashville. We were listening to a bunch of Kings of Leon albums. Me and my guitar player were in the front seat, just playing through a bunch of different Kings of Leon stuff. Kind of Southern vibe. We were in Southern feels. But yeah, it was cool.
What's the last song that made you cry?
Last song that made me cry. That's another good one. I don't even mean to be this person, but I don't cry all that often. It takes a lot to get me to that point. But sometimes I'm overly emotional. I'll hear a song and it brings me down real hard. Mac DeMarco. God, what is that song called? I'm terrible with my song names for you right now. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Listen, I'm from the age I grew up where CDs were the most prevalent, so I can tell you like what number on the album is, but it's hard for me to tell you the name too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that does make sense. That is nice. I actually love CDs myself. I got a big CD collection in my car, but the song is still beating from Mac DeMarco on This Old Dog. Very lovey, very flowy, pretty song. Very sad vibes too, though.
Do you have a song that you love to hate? Like just a song that you constantly are like, I can't believe I love this song.
Yeah, actually, what is it called? Africa by Toto. And it's honestly a great song, but it's so
a great song.
So overplayed. But every time I hear it, I see just like a little hip jig. I love me some Africa by Toto, but I also hate me for doing that.
I get it, man. It's a great song, man, and everybody always covers it, and they always do a great job with it. And it's just like the song's never going to go away, so it's always going to be there for every generation to enjoy.
It is such a good song. Like the guitar riff and the chord progression is so perfect. It's so nice.
All right, so another one. I don't know. For me, it was I grew up with roller skating rinks, but it's I don't know if you grew up with roller skating rinks still, but when they go to play that couple song and you see your crush, what song would be playing?
Oh yeah, like the little montage moment where you just see the crush flip her hair.
Well, and you got to go do that. You want to ask her to go do the couples skate around. What song's playing?
Okay, couples skate around. What song's playing? Oh, easy actually. Mind Mischief by Tame Impala off of Lonerism.
Okay.
Got that awesome.
Yeah, I grew up in the 80s, so for me it was probably like anything by Chicago at that time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tame Impala also kind of has that vibe to me where it feels it's not really 80s music, but it has that feel to it. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the guitar, the way his tones or what it is. It kind of just has this old school feel to it for sure.
Nice. Well, don't want to keep you here all day. Got a small child running around in the back, so I want to give you time because time with your family is the most important thing in the world. So I want you to be able to enjoy that. So we're going to come to a close here. Before we get to our final segment, why don't you tell everybody how to find out what you guys are doing, what's coming next, all your awesome handles that everybody has to have.
Oh yeah, everyone needs them. Primarily, we're an Instagram band. We don't do Twitter. We're not really huge on Facebook, but we have one for the parents. So Instagram, you can get us on gentlemen's_crow. Honestly, the best way to find us, though, is just go to gentlemanscrow.com. It's got links to the YouTube. It's got links to the Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music. You can see all of our cool videos that we've made, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, definitely plug the album. Apparitions been out for 3 months now. Starting to gain a little bit of notoriety, hoping. But yeah, check it all out, gentlemen'scrow.com.
Awesome. And tour coming up, you said end of May, June.
Yes.
So
Apparitions tour. We'll be hitting everywhere between Florida and Brooklyn. So we got Nashville, we got Columbia, we got Charleston, we got Norfolk, Baltimore, DC, Philly, and then back through Florida. So if you're up on that northeast side, up that way, and catch us, we'll be coming your way.
Awesome. Well, we are here into our final segment. It is our weekly threes. It's 3 things you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Let's see. I've been digging, and this is probably not super obscure, I've been digging Failure's first album, Comfort 92. Super, super, super cool early 90s grunge vibes.
I know it. I saw it in 92. I saw them perform it in 92.
Jealous of you, my friend. Everyone knows them as the Saturday song. That's not their best song. It's a good song, though. It's not their best song. Another one that check out, there's a band from New Jersey. They're getting some notoriety up there. They're from Asbury Park. They're called The Haunting, and they are a badass band. They have this song called Skins. And if you're looking for some 90s Nirvana meets Alt J vibes, that is where you're at. It's a really, really, really cool track. Great band, too. Crisp, clean vocals. And as always, in recent light, Mark Lanigan's death, I've been listening to In the Fade a lot from Rated R, Queens of the Stone Age. It's kind of like a track that nobody really knows. Swear it's one of their best songs. So it's the first song that Mark Lanigan sang vocals on for Queens. And it's just a badass song. It's got a great hook, too.
Awesome. Good 3. My 3 for this week. This week I have a band called Gunship. It's one word. Their self-titled album is Gunship. They're British synthwave, just really cool music to have on. Next band I have is Graveyard Club. There's an album called Goodnight Paradise. They're Minneapolis synth pop. If you can't tell, I was on kind of a synth wave, I guess, getting excited for some new Cure. But they also have a new track called Nowhere that's pretty fire.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out.
And last but not least, is a band from Oklahoma. They're called Curse the Knife. It's one word, Curse the Knife. And if it's alt shoegazy stuff. If you like hum and Deftones, they're a band for you to listen to.
What's that one again?
Curse the Knife.
Curse the Knife, yeah. Huge Deftones guy here. I'm going to see them in Philly in May. Very excited. I'm
going to see them in New York in May.
Yeah. The Gojira tour.
Yeah.
Maybe seconds.
So, but yeah, an album from Curse the Knife is Thank You for Being Here. So check that out. Those are my 3 for this week.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for having me on here, man. Really, really enjoyed the conversation. We haven't really done a podcast yet where we've had, just a chance to talk about music and music culture and all the little things you ask were so specific, but yet so fun and easy to talk about. It's a really cool experience.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. We try to make this fun, and these are all questions that when I meet people at shows, these are questions that I've asked them before, and I just kept them because it's you find out about people finding out answers to their questions about the music that they like. So
I love that. Yeah, that is awesome.
But thank you so much for being here, Cameron. Again, guys, name of the band's Gentleman's Crow. You know what you got to do next. Go out, listen to Gentleman's Crow, and have a great fucking time. Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.